two kinds of interest we have to understand when we invest. There is the simple interest and there is the compound interest. Now, the question is, what exactly are the differences between these two and how do you calculate the simple and the compound interest? Hello everyone, this is Ricey and welcome to my channel, The Quest for Wealth. And today we are going to talk about and truly understand and calculate as well the interest that we earn on our investments, simple and compound interest. Thank you very much, and here we go.
So then we have got our computation here, an Excel file. As you can see, it's very colorful. No, I want to make it very simple here so that everybody can see it quite clearly. So we have got two persons here. We have got the first person, which is called Mr. Big, Mr. Small, and the second person is called Mr. Big. This Mr. Big is our compound interest calculation and Mr. Small is our simple interest calculation. Now, what we'll do is that we shall create the same amount of initial investments and initial and return rate of return for both of them, so that we compare apples to apples. For Mr. Small with simple interest, we shall compute it for 10 years. Here you go. Investment is $1,000. The rate of return is 10%. So what we will do is that we will multiply the investment on the rate of return. So this means $100. This means $100 is what Mr. Small earned on his initial investment of $1,000. Now, if we shall add this interest on the investment of Mr. Small, it means that by the end of the year, the first year, he will have $1,100 on his savings. So we do pretty much the same on the rest of the years, on the second year, third, fourth, and until 10th year. So we do the same. We calculate the investment again on the rate of return. So we do this again. We has another $100 on the second year of his investments. Now, what we will do now is that we shall add these amount, the first year earnings, on the earnings of the second year. And by the end of the second year, Mr. Small would have already earned $1,200, which includes his investments and his earnings for the first year and second year. So let us do the same calculation for the rest of the year until year 10, and the same calculation here. So we just drop the formula. There you go. So 2,000, which means that by the end of year 10, Mr. Small would only have 2,000 in total, including interest on his investments. So this is how you calculate the simple interest. We have finished the calculation of the simple earnings with Mr. Small. We now go to the calculations of earnings with Mr. Big. So we, as you can see here, I have rounded up the template, but I will make this change here because this will be significantly different. Now, what we do is that we multiply the investment against the rate of return, which is the same, 10%. So on the first year, the earnings of Mr. Big is the same as what Mr. Small earned. What we do now is that we add the investment together with the earnings. So it is exactly the same as what Mr. Small earned. Now here, on the investment here, what we will do is that we shall take the earnings of the previous year and multiply that earning, this earning here, against the rate of return, which is 10%. And what we get is this total earnings. And what we do is that we add this earning, the total earnings of the previous year, add it on the earnings of the current year, which is 110. And that is what Mr. Big earns at the end of the second year. And this system or this formula is exactly what we shall do on the rest of our initial investment, or on the rest of the calculation until 10th year. We'll just drag this formula here, uh, and drag this formula here, and drag this formula here. There you go. So therefore, by the end of the 10th year, Mr. Big would have earned $2,593.74. Mr. Small earned $2,000. The difference is $593, which is in percentage is 30%. And 30% is not a joke. So this may look small because the value is quite small. It's only $1,000. But say that the investment is 10,000, 1, 2, 3. And we do pretty much the same here. So this means that by the end of the 10th year, Mr. Small in total would already have gathered $20,000, including his investments plus the interest. And that's what you call the simple interest here. Now, Mr. Big, if we do the same, 10,000. So Mr. Big, if we do the same, by the end of the 10th year, he would have earned himself $25,937.42 by the end of the 10th year at 10% average interest. Now, the difference between Mr. Big and Mr. Small here is almost $6,000. Again, it's a difference of 30%. Now, $6,000 is a big amount, however you see it. Now, and essentially the concept is the same. What happens is that with simple interest, as you can imagine, the earning or the growth of your investment is very slow. It's slower than a snail. Whereas with compound interest, the growth of your investment is relatively faster. So there you go. That's how you make the calculation between compound interest and simple interest.
So thank you very much for watching this video. If you are getting value on the videos that I post, please consider to subscribe and like the videos.